Hello and welcome to the Poor Hammer Podcast, episode 39. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Eric.
How's it going?
And today, I have a very dumb idea that I just randomly worked on at 12:30 at night when I couldn't sleep, and now Eric has to listen to me ramble about it.
If this was a different podcast, I would be looking for a new cube list, but...
No, this took far less time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the time when I wake up and you're like, hey, Eric, guess what I did? We're recording a podcast, and I spent the last 18 hours not sleeping and doing this insane thing.
It's bound to happen.
It absolutely is bound to happen. I just haven't figured out what it's going to be for this podcast, for Poor Hammer. I figure it'll be something Necrons related, though.
All right, so for this episode, everyone liked the character I showed off for Thousand Suns a couple episodes ago.
The Smash Termy?
Yes, the Smash Sorcerer. So, I have created another character, although it's only a character for technical reasons. This isn't like my OC or anything. This is just character helped. I have created the dumbest, stupidest idea for a Chaos Knight build. It is not good. It is hilarious. So let's jump into this.
Sounds good.
All right, for Eric and our audience at home who does not know Chaos Knights, with the release of the new codex, Chaos Knights got a couple new knights. We got some nice new war dogs, and we got the Knight Abominant.
Yeah.
The Knight Abominant is the new one with the tendrily arms. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's on the screen. Looking at me, he's so cute.
It's a Psyker.
Bingo. The key thing is it was the Psyker Knight.
Yeah. Which is why I actually vaguely do know about this one, because I think Psychers are cool.
Yeah. And it's neat because we got like our whole psychic list for Chaos Knights because this now exists. Very cool. I like it.
Yeah.
However, in the Chaos Codex, if you're flipping through it, you will notice that you can apply keywords to your knights. Obviously, with the Psyker Knight, you're like, Tzeentch. Tzeentch is the correct option because I want more psychic.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Or you go Undivided because you can build a super tanky meme build that's hilariously hard to move. It's really neat, but everyone has covered that one to death because, like, it's just, hey, look at how unkillable this knight is if it gets off all of its buffs.
Which is good. I mean, knights are a lot of points, so make sure that they don't die is good, but I'd still go with Siege. Yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
Yeah. What if I give it Khorne, which always, no matter how you give it the Khorne keyword, takes away its psychic powers?
All right. But why?
I don't know. I have seen this written on every rule in this codex, and it has always been the dumbest idea to me. And I was like, obviously it's there, so if you buy the new Knight box, and you happen to have a Khorne army, you don't waste money by building the Knight Abominant and then realize you can't run it in Khorne.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be pretty irritating, but, like, why would you run it in Khorne anyways? Because, like, you turned off its psychicness. Just do something else. Yeah.
Because I could have built a Rampager, the melee one.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I can't really give you a good argument for why you're not just running the Rampager instead of what I'm about to do.
All right.
But let's commit a war crime.
Okay. So, we're obviously not doing this for optimum competitive nature. We're doing this to prove a point.
Oh yeah, God no. This is here to push boundaries on the Knight Abominant's builds.
Okay, so this is memeing on people for being just the best loadout ever.
Yes, and I will be running this against you at some point.
I wholly expect it and look forward to it probably doing something dumb that I did not expect at all.
Okay, so let's start off. Clearly, Khorne wants to be melee oriented. This knight is a Psyker. It's got a gun on one arm and noodly arms on the other arm. The gun is pretty mediocre. It's fine. It's okay at killing chaff, blah, blah, blah. Not why we're here.
Sure.
By default, this knight only attacks 3 times.
It's not a good start.
Now, there's an asterisk on that. People who know the knight profile are like, Brad, that's disingenuous, but it's funnier this way. So we start out with only attacking 3 times. Not great for Khorne. However, giving it the Khorne keyword takes away its psychic powers, but gives it a weapon skill so that it hits on 2s instead of 3s.
Right. So you were Okay. So you were starting with 3 attacks.
Yeah, you started off hitting like a Marine.
Weapon skill 3.
This knight is 430 points naked. So
okay. Let's see what you do with it.
We're up to weapon skill 2, which is where you want to be for 430 points.
Yeah.
And +1 to attack characteristic.
Okay.
However, you have to either pay points or a CP to do this in addition to losing your psychic.
Right.
But we'll get back to that part. Now the question is, how many attacks can we get up to? Because, like, obviously that's what we're going to do with this knight if we can't get much out of our shooting anyway, and if we've lost our psychic on our psychic knight.
I mean, it's either that or, like, how do you do, like, the most damage from, like, pumping damage or AP or something like that. But
right.
I like the idea of doing more attacks because it's generally better.
So if we're an infernal household, then the buffs won't really help us with our goal here. So let's go iconoclast, which means we get +1 attack on the charge.
Okay. And the movement is... How fast does this thing move?
It only moves 10 inches.
Okay. So we're definitely going to need to hit those big charges.
Yeah. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Knights aren't known for being very mobile. They only have 50-foot tall legs.
Yeah. Continue.
So which household within the iconoclast doesn't matter because none of them give extra attacks. So we'll skip that for right now.
Sure.
So we need more attacks. We've got to become a character. We can't just be a normal knight. So we turn him into a character. Might as well make it the warlord so we can get warlord traits, relics, and all that jazz. In addition, you can be an arch tyrant, which lets you get 2 warlord traits.
Okay.
Which is lucky because there's exactly 2 warlord traits that can give you an attack.
That is lucky.
Knight Diabolus is actually great. It gives us an attack and it gives us reroll 1s to hit. So now we're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
That's pretty good, actually, yeah.
Now, we could do something smart and like use the second warlord trait to give ourselves obsec and a bunch of other stuff, but instead let's get eager for the kill, which gives us +1 advance and charge.
That's good.
It helps us get into combat before we die our horrible death.
Yeah, no, that is actually pretty good because you're going to need those charges. So,
and if I'm in the opponent's deployment zone, +1 more attack.
Okay. Not guaranteed, but hopefully.
Situationally, we can get another attack.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to hit the highest number we can here.
Yeah.
There's no relic that helps us.
Really?
Yeah. We'll just take Panoply of the Cursed Knights for +2 armor save so that Knight has the same save as a Lehman Russ. Thank you, 9th edition.
Dude, I mean, we can get into the whole saves for Knights with, like, their shitty and vulnerable saves as well, but not this time. We're here for the memes.
Casual 430 points. Yeah. Now, we have to get the Corrin mark, right? There's a couple ways to get it. You can pay a CP to just get a Corrin mark, but that's awful. And we've blown so much CP getting relics and warlord traits that that's not a good idea.
Yeah, that seems pretty terrible.
So for 25 points, we can get Throne Mechanicum of Skulls. It gives us reroll charges. Again, more reliability.
Yeah, that is good. And it turns you Corn.
Bingo. And as a bonus, if we actually turn the favor on it, which for a big knight, I believe is 15 kills, 15 wounds worth of kills rather.
Okay.
Then we will get 6s to hit explode, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not counting it towards our base number, but like it's a neat thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but because you'd have to wipe a unit the first time and then the second time you might be favored. So, but yeah, it is a nice little bonus. You're there for the reroll charge though.
Yeah.
And Corn.
And to get Corn, because the other ways to get Corn are not related to attacks at all.
Yeah.
Since none of the named iconoclast houses help, we'll just become a fell house. We'll use Frenzied Invaders, which gives us just exploding 6s.
Hey, there you go.
So, where does this leave us in this build? The knight has 4 base attacks, because we're Corn.
Okay. With the 2-up weapon skill.
Yep. You get a 5th one from Knight Diabolus.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 6th one for being on the charge with Iconoclast. You get a 7th one if we're in our opponent's deployment zone.
Right.
So 7 attacks in an ideal scenario where we are in our opponent's deployment zone on the charge.
Which, probably a bit tough, but it's doable.
So here's the fun part. I left off. Electro Scourge is our melee weapon of choice.
That's a cool name.
The Electro Scourge is the sweet dangly arm.
Nice.
Strength is user, so your normal 8.
Okay.
AP -2.
That's solid.
Damage flat 3.
Okay.
You make 3 hit rolls instead of 1.
All right.
So that's 21 attacks at damage 3.
For like just all attacks, you just do 3.
They're all damage 3. You get 21 of them.
Wow. Okay.
In addition, you get D3 additional attacks with your Bale Mace, which is your tail, which is AP -2 damage too.
Okay.
So, in a max roll of that D3, you'll have 24 attacks, not counting explosions on hits. And we're hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s.
So, yeah, you're probably... So what is that? So you should get 3 or more, because the rerolls.
Let's just go low, because I suck. If I only get 2 explosions, do you know what that is?
No.
28 stab wounds.
Oh, God, I can't believe I just wasted like a half an hour listening to this.
For a 4-year-old meme.
Absolute ridiculous nonsense. Is it more than 4 years old now?
I don't know.
Is that 2018? Yeah, I think that was like 2018.
I got up to 24 attacks, and I was like, I've got to add the exploding 6s in here so I can hit 28 to make the joke.
Jesus Christ, dude. So, okay, dumb punchline meme aside, that is a lot of attacks.
Is it any good is the real question.
For the points, no. God, no.
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 So here's the real problem. Here's the real problem. A Knight Rampager is 400 points.
Yeah.
It already has 5 attacks base, hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
In addition to that, it has a Reaper Chainsword, which makes 3 swings every time you swing it in sweep mode. It's only damage 2, but it is AP 3, so it's like kind of a side grade.
Yeah, yeah.
And you also have your Warp Strike Claw, which, to make things even memeier, technically you get a higher hit count if you take the relic on the Rampager.
Oh, like they have like a special relic for them.
No, but you could take the Claw relic, which is Gauntlet of Ascension. Gauntlet of Ascension has a funny little bit of rules text on it for when you really want to buff up your attack count. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, you can reroll the hit roll. Each time an enemy character model is destroyed by an attack made with this weapon until end of battle, +1 strength and attacks characteristic of the bearer. It stacks.
That's dumb.
And it has the sweep profile of 2 hits, not 3.
Okay.
So technically, if you kill Celestin's pack of models or the new little chaos guys who are like 5 characters in 1 unit.
Right. You just like...
It's every character model you kill. So you could have your opponent help you set up like a hilarious meme, and we could actually go higher using that.
Where you just like chain gun them down of like you.
Yeah, first time you attack, you use Gauntlet of Ascension on like sweeping 5 characters. Then the second time you kill another one, they get like 2 of them shoved in there on their turn for you to kill. Like,
yeah.
If you were purposefully trying, I think we can make that higher. So unfortunately, the Knight Abominant is just going to strictly be worse than using a Rampager to try to go to max attacks possible.
I mean, also like all of the hoops that you had to go through, like how many points is this total? Because like you have to get it's
only 455 points. I say only in air quotes here.
Yeah. I mean it's a Knight, but so okay, so the corn
was eating up 25 points.
25 is not bad for that, because I thought some of them were like 50.
Yes, it goes up to, I believe, 45 is the highest in the whole book.
Jesus Christ, that better be good.
For a large Knight, they change depending on what size Knight you are.
Okay. I mean, 455, you're also eating some CP. Honestly, it's funny.
It's not some CP, it's a lot of CP.
It is, yeah. Well, especially because we have less to start with now. Yeah, it is quite a bit.
I eat up half my CP on this one Abominant. It is not made for winning tournaments, but
no,
it is an impressive feat to see how much you can get an Abominant to pull off. Like, I'm actually going to play this model. It's very fun sounding.
I am kind of interested in how it'll do.
Like, it's not much worse than a Rampager. You're paying more points for basically no reason instead of just playing the Rampager and using your chainsaw hand.
Yeah. I almost want to, like, I guess I don't know all of the psychic abilities.
So, like, you're playing an Abominant so that you have access to the psychic without using a Tzeentch keyword.
Right.
And losing it and paying points to lose it is just bad. It famously has Winds of the Warp, which is the one that everyone always uses for, like, the meme unkillable build. That one gives it a 5-up Feel No Pain, and if you cast it on an 8 or higher, war dogs within 6 inches get a 6-up feel no pain.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it can get very tanky using that one. We've got a couple others that are, like, useful to fringe useful to bad.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there were any that, like, buffed the attack characteristics.
No, there's nothing like that.
Or even just, like, wound rolls or like, re-rolling to get, like, more exploding.
No, you can get better hit characteristic, like, to hit and to wound.
Okay.
Through different ways. At least you can get the hit. I'm not sure about the wound. Let me check.
Because it's just one of those where I'm like, this is an interesting idea, memes aside, of, like, pushing this knight to its melee maximum. And if you can do it while keeping some psychic, that would be really neat.
Yeah, to be honest, the Khorne version is, like, carrying this to make it even worth it in the first place.
Yeah. Because, I mean, without that, you're on a 3-up weapon skill, and that's unacceptable.
Yeah, for the points I'm paying, yeah.
You have to make that a 2, and you have to have the rerolls and stuff like.
The other part is it's 3 whole extra attacks with that profile, because it's giving you a +1 attack.
Yeah, right. That is okay.
There is an iconoclast household you could do to get up to a 2-up weapon skill. It would be a Fell Bond, and it only works on characters, monsters, and vehicles.
Which is, I mean, you're a character, so.
No, it's only against.
Oh, yeah, that's probably fine.
It's the things that matters. Like, you don't need your 2-up against a bunch of chaff.
Yeah, that is where you would need it.
So there is a couple little extra things, like, as dumb as this is, you've got Crush Like Vermin as well. If you remember, we've got 7 attacks in our ideal scenario being in our opponent's deployment zone on the charge.
Yeah.
Plus D3 from
the tail. Yeah.
Now, we can use Crush Like Vermin, which is a stratagem. In the fight phase, if a knight from your army is selected to fight, when it makes a melee attack with Titanic feet, you subtract 1 to hit. If the attack successfully hits, unless it's a monster or a vehicle, the target gets 2 mortal wounds. Attack sequence ends. To put that in perspective, our Titanic feet will be attacking 7 times, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, which means most characters just get mortal wound out.
Yeah, because there's no cap unless it's hidden somewhere else.
It is not.
But unlikely. Unless it's in an FAQ, they probably forgot about that cap.
So, I mean, it's a little bit stupid because, like, it's only AP2 on the Electro Scourge, but if you'd rather mortal wound something out, you can go with feet and just do the mortal wounds for a CP.
I mean, how much was that stratagem?
1 CP.
Okay. Because, like, if it's 2, you just don't have it. Like,
no.
Just you don't have access to that anymore, Brad. You've used it all. But 1, yeah. I keep trying to think of, like, how to make it competitive, and it's just not. Like,
no, it isn't.
It's fun. I think it'll be very fun. It's an interesting thought experiment, and I do hate you for putting me through this meme and making me think about trying to make it useful.
To be honest, it's not bad. It's kind of a waste of 55 points to do what you could have done with a Rampager.
Right.
But meh. I expected it to be far worse when I was playing with it originally, and then I found out how high I could get it, and I was like, this is actually noteworthy and kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, that is a lot. That is a lot of attacks. It is a lot of attacks. I do have concerns, because, like, Knight's bracket...
Yeah, we didn't talk about the fact that I've got a 10-inch move. I bracket after the first 12 wounds get taken off.
Yeah. And, like, when you bracket, it's actually pretty bad because you lose both weapon and ballistic skill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's few things more annoying than doing something wrong and still winning.
I know, right? Which is why you will be facing this.
I know.
Because, I mean, like, even with Armor of Contempt, it's a dead paladin for every time you fail to roll a 3-up.
Yep. It is. And that's fucking annoying.
when I can clear off quite comfortably just 5 paladins with this meme.
Yeah, and it's like...
that's just awful. Why did that happen?
You don't even have psychic. What the hell?
You're supposed to be doing mortal wounds so I get my feel no pain.
Exactly. Not that I ever pass the feel no pains, but, you know... Okay, well, this is a fun build, Brad. Thanks.
Yeah, that wraps up the fun little build. I kind of had this as a fever dream at, like, midnight when I was incapable of sleeping, and I just opened up Battlescribe and started poking around.
What a life you live.
I know. Who needs sleep?
Something like that.
All right, let's get you guys out of here for the week.
So